Okay, well, note to self, and note to you guys, if you have to use or if you guys are doing a cam kit, you will need this, which is a twin cam, especially on Harley twin cams. Let me be specific on that. Harley twin cams, you will need a specific tool um, to do this job. If not, um, if you're not doing them on a Harley or a Harley twin cam, I'm not exactly sure what you would use. I'm sure they're about the same, like on any make and model. Um, whether it be, your Yamahas or Hondas or Indian or Triumph or, you name it. I'm sure they're kind of set up the same way, and I'm sure this tool could work for you. I found this one on Amazon for 96 bucks. Yes, it's not a name brand tool, which I'm okay with. So, what I was talking about. This kit in particular will give you two of these. One of them is larger than the other. This actually inserts into your cam bearing, expands, and you're able to pull it. So, what you have to watch, and I just noticed that I did this, because I was thinking, where in the hell is this spacer at? This is the spacer for the tool. This is the spacer that fits over the rear cam. The exact same thickness. Well, the cam bearing or the cam washer is a little bit thicker. Works the exact same. Just make sure if you think you've lost it, check the tool. Yeah. That's all I can really say on that one. Which obviously it did what I needed it to. So, no harm, no foul. They do sell different thicknesses of washer for the rear cam on Harleys. They go up by 5/1000ths of an inch. This one is a 1/30,000th or 130 thou. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that. 3.30 dash 0.130. This fits there. Yeah. If you get the one from the tool, the actual diameter is smaller. So, just keep that in mind. Now that we've torqued the cam support plate in the spiral pattern with Loctite 242, I believe 240, yeah, no, excuse me, 243. The red Loctite is 262. Let me double check. Yes, red Loctite is 262. There are different degrees, maybe different. Hell. Um, or like different strengths, um, different formulas. There we go, formulas. Jesus, there are different formulas of Loctite, so keep that in mind. Freaking stuck. Stupid rolly chair. So, next step. Your rear cam sprocket and your pinion, which is your timing chain and sprockets. What you want to do, make sure you are paying attention to the way you took this off. Obviously, you know, one side will not have any dots that are stamped. The front side, which is the side you want facing out, has all of your timing marks. So make sure this is facing out. What you want to do now, take both your rear cam sprocket and your rear your pinion, which is a small one. Make sure you've got 2 dots that are stamped on the end of the cams. I'll use the old cam to show you, or old cams. Here's the rear cam. Here's the front cam. See those 2 little dots right there and right there? You want those lined up. If they're not lined up when you install them, you're out of time. And see, yeah, you need to go back in, correct it, because they need to be. See if I can show you. See how mine are lined up? That's the way they're wanting it. What that means is you're in time. Yes, I'm not using a camera person today. My fiance's at work. She's typically my camera person. Just me. And yes, I'm rambling. Sorry. So, what we have to do now, we're measuring cam inplay. So, don't know if you guys can see it. You have little teeth in here. Your rear cam sprocket will have a flat, which means instead of having teeth, it'll just be missing a few. Go ahead, install that. Install that one. And make sure it's facing the correct way. Your pinion won't have any teeth on the inside, but it has 1 flat. Install that. Go ahead, grab your pinion bolt and your rear cam bolt. Do not apply Loctite with this, or for this step. All we're doing is tightening them up. Okay, your cam bolt is a 14. Or in my case, that's what I had laying here. Your bottom one is a 13. Again, probably not the actual correct size for it, but it's what I had laying. scratch that. I did find the correct ones. Your rear cam sprocket, the big one, is a 9/16. Your bottom pinion, timing pinion, the small one, is a 1/2 inch. Come on, focus. 1/2 inch. The easiest way to do this, is to put the bike on the ground, if you can. Torque it. Or not really torque it, get it snug. The top end, it's just gonna sit here and move. So, what we're gonna do, get a feeler gauge. Get a feeler gauge and a straight edge. Okay, now as I was saying, get a straight edge and a feeler gauge. Harley standards is under 10,000th of an inch. What you're doing, you're checking in play on this cam. That is what you're doing. If you don't know where your straight edge is, and you have one of these laying around, this edge is perfectly flat. Basically, it's a $4 painter's straight edge that's designed to do trimming. Lay it on the sprocket once you've tightened everything down. Now, depending upon which gear or which sprocket or pinion, which one is out further, when you put your straight edge on, say if your pinion is out farther than your sprocket, you want to line the straight edge with your sprocket. So just like that. Make sure you can't get anything 10,000ths of an inch under it, and I cannot. So we're good to move on. What we're going to do, we're going to take everything back off, put our chain back on, bolt it back up, excuse me, and go from there. I will be right back. Okay, so we've got everything back disassembled. Timing chain, sprocket, and pinion are now pretty much as a whole. What I did to make it a little bit easier on myself, put a little bit of assembly lube on the bottom end and on these sprocket teeth, just to help it go on and it's not going to fight you to death. Grab your tensioner, slide it in place. That tensioner, it does not have to go in any specific way, so you can do it like this here or flip it and it's not going to matter. So go ahead and get that guy snagged in there. Now remember, to get your chain and everything snuck into place. Sure they're good and in place. You may have to push that tensioner down just a snag. Alright. So, time for Loctite. Sheesh, if I can speak. So, go ahead and make a decent opening with some dikes. Always to make sure to put your caps back on them. Now with the red Loctite 262, you don't really have to put any certain amount on it. In fact, go a little bit heavy. Just that way, you know for a fact it's seated. Now before you do install Loctite or anything, go ahead, clean the threads, hit the bolt and washer with a little bit of brake clean, because oil will jack with your Loctite. So it's better to go ahead and be safe and go ahead and hit it with brake clean rather than pretty much going down the road. Oh hey, your timing's fucked. So just my opinion, it's better to go ahead and do it. That way you don't have to come back in here and redo it in a couple of months. Or, better yet, replace the motor. So, for everyone that's in Kentucky, that's where I'm at right now. To be exact, I'm in Corbin, Kentucky. So you guys know how the weather is in Kentucky. It's 1 minute it's really nice, the next minute it looks like hell in a handbasket. So really, riding season for most of Kentucky is just about over. Personally, I do ride year round, unless if it's sleeting. If it's sleeting, yeah, I'm good. That hurts. If you've never ridden in it, I don't recommend it. I will ride rain and snow, but if it's sleeting, count me out. but I do ride year round. But for most of Kentucky, riding season is coming to an end. So if you're one of the people that don't really ride year round and you're looking to do work on a bike, cams and exhaust system are probably some of the, and air cleaners. Most of your bolt-on stuff, so air cleaner, exhaust system, cams, which cams aren't really a bolt-on, so air cleaner, exhaust, and a tune. On this bike I'm running the Vance and Hines Fuel Pack 3, but I'll figure out how to let you guys see setting up for the cams, putting the exhaust system back together and stuff like that. But yeah, so back to the ooey gooey stuff. Go ahead, smother you some red Loctite on here. Don't be too shy with it. It's better to go ahead and do it. That way you don't have to come back in here in a little bit. Make sure not to drop it back on an oily surface if you can help it. Thankfully it... Also, one thing to note, if you guys are doing this, the bore in the lower, in the pinion, go ahead and clean it out a little bit. Because there is a little bit of oil that can come out. So, go ahead and clean that out. Hand, put that one in there, torque it up, finger, run it down, whatever you want to say. Go ahead, grab your next one. Put your cap back on. Nice and red. Yes. Now, depending upon the cam kit that you guys get, they'll have different torque specs for this. So go buy your torque specs. Mine is S&S. Okay, so on these, your crankshaft bolt, which is this one here, the pinion, the small one, 25 foot-pounds, and mind you, this is for this specific kit. It could differ depending upon what cams you guys get, how big the cams are. This is for an S&S 585 cams that are non-easy start. This is not an easy start cam set. So 25 foot-pounds, and 34 foot-pounds. Give me a second. Let me go get my torque wrench, my shower here, as I lose my freaking tackle. Get my correct sizes again. Let's see, 1/2 inch and 9/16. Yes, 1/2 inch and 9/16. So crankshaft goes to 25. This one is going to be the 1/2 inch. Next one up is your 9/16 at 34 foot-pounds. We can now move that out of the way and move on. So, what's left? Installing the new gasket. Once we take this old one off, which honestly, the old one doesn't seem horrible. But if you guys can tell, it's fairly brittle. Always a best bet to replace it when you have the options to. If you do not have it, just inspect it, make sure it is good. If it is not good, go ahead, sit on it for a few, wait till you can get a cam chest gasket, because you do not want to mess this up. Otherwise, you will have a very large oil leak. Go ahead and wipe this down. Make sure everything is nice and clean. Basically, all I'm doing, I've got a rag, or not really a rag, it's more of a super thick paper towel, or you can use the shop rags, shop paper towel that you can get at Walmart or any parts house in the world. Pretty sure, or even like Wildcat or your local Harley dealer. Pretty sure they even carry them. Obviously, for us down here in Corbin, our local Harley would be Wildcat Harley. Which is about 10 minutes away from where I'm located. So, thankfully, my dealer is fairly close. So that's a plus. Now, if your dealer is a little bit further away, that this can be a little bit of a time-consuming job. Especially if you have to sit and wait on parts like I did. I'm still waiting on parts. Still. Which, like I said earlier on in the video, hopefully within this next couple days, or at least 48 business hours, I'll hear something back. If your bike is a newer one, like our local, I don't know if this applies for all Harley dealers or all dealers in general, but our local Harley dealer will not work on bikes that are 10 years old or older, or 10 years old or older. Not really sure why. But, I mean, it is what it is, honestly. I don't really mind to do my own stuff. I was pretty fortunate my dealer let me do my own oil changes, everything like that with the bike under warranty. So I did not, if you are a DIY or a do-it-yourselfer, just it can't hurt to ask. See if you can do like your own maintenance on it, your own routine maintenance, and like for big stuff like my tires, I've got spokes, rims, and I don't have everything to balance them correctly or mount them just yet. That'll come in a future date. Because they won't even install tires on bikes 10 years or older. So I'll be getting a tire changer and balancer just to make it easy. Now, before you put your cam chest cover on, which is this fella right here, make sure it's also clean. Go ahead and get out any oil that's left over. Make sure you don't drop it like I just did. Now, basically, basically these videos that I'm putting out to you guys are for the common wrencher, weekend wrencher, gearhead, whatever you guys want to call yourselves. Or people that just want to tinker. Now, for me, riding is a family tradition. Everyone in my family has grown up with it. And it's just something that we enjoy doing. We always have. So it's something that I can teach my daughter, and continue that tradition. I was taught at a very young age how to work on bikes or trucks or pretty much anything. You just have to have a little bit of common sense about you, have patience, and a little bit of determination, and you can pretty much accomplish whatever you want in life. So, if you guys take away anything from my videos, just take away one thing: put your head down, work. Be patient with things. If you get aggravated, take a step back, look at it from a different perspective. Just small stuff. That's typically the finer things in life when it comes to stuff like this. Alright. Clean. So, now, again with this, clean the threads on all of them. Set the ones you have cleaned aside. Make sure there's no oil or debris in the threads. If you guys have a tap and die set, I would recommend using that. My phone's about to die. Yeah, if you guys have a tap and die set, definitely use that to get all the threads out, or get all the threads cleared. So, once I get all these done, I'll come back to you